DataGraph version 5.5 just came out, and in this version, we've added some functionality that will help you make better scalar fields, and in particular, doing things like elevation maps, maps of other various types of data where you have a spatial coordinate and you want to color some variables such as elevation. And the video today, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to highlight 3 new features in DataGraph 5.5 that I think are really worth knowing about. And this example that I'm going to use is creating essentially a topological map using data from the island of Hawaii. And we're going to show you how to do contours, label them, and a little bit about zooming in and out of the data and how that's been improved in the latest version of DataGraph. DataGraph is a professional application that's available for macOS for creating graphs, animations, scalar fields, as I'm going to demonstrate in this particular video. You can download it either from the Mac App Store or from our website, visualdatatools.com. The scalar field command can do a variety of different types of graphics where you, again, have some type of XY coordinate and you want to, or you have a third variable that you're going to color that location based on that third variable. That's why something like an elevation map is well suited for the scalar field command. One of the things that is often done when creating topological maps, for example, is to have a line of equal value or a contour line that can add a bit of structure to a map and add some more information rather than just the color. One of the things that we added, or the first feature I want to go over today, is the ability to very quickly add contour lines, because in the past you would have to specify where you wanted the lines. You could do this in a column, or you could just make a comma separated list of where you wanted those contour lines and have them drawn. But now there's an automatic setting which makes this much faster. So within the scalar field command, if you just click contours, then you will automatically see a set of contour lines drawn. If you want more contour lines, if you want a different stride between them, you can always customize this, but I'm finding that this makes it so much quicker to just go ahead and add contour lines to a graph and see what it looks like. Another common element that graphs such as these have is to add a label onto the contour line that tells you what value that line represents. A label is something that can be great to add to a contour line, but if you have a lot of contour lines, then the labels might overlap. And this was an issue in the last version of DataGraph, but now you can specify a stride between the labels to make sure you don't have overlapping labels. And there's actually a slider that you can use to interactively adjust how many labels you're seeing within your contour line. And this actually it's kind of interesting. I've been playing a bit with making graphs where I just show the contours and the values associated with that and don't even have any color. So it gives you kind of a new type of graphic that you can create within the realm of the scalar field command. Now let's finish up with the third feature that I want to talk about, and this is related to what we call the aspect ratio. The aspect ratio is a setting. In particular, we're talking about the data aspect ratio. How much length does a given unit take on the x-axis as opposed to the y-axis? Oftentimes we want these to be equal, particularly if we're doing something like a topological map, then 1 meter on the x-axis should be the same distance as 1 meter on the y-axis. So within DataGraph, you can specify what you want for an aspect ratio. It doesn't have to be 1. You can actually specify any value that you want. But one of the things that was an issue that I found at times was a little frustrating is that if I wanted to zoom in on a section of my map, then the size of the graphic would stay the same, which meant that things would be stretched and the aspect ratio that I set wasn't maintained. But that will no longer be the case. I can zoom into a region of a map and it will show the proper aspect ratio. What you may find is that the box around your graphic will change size. So there'll be padding that's added outside of the box itself, the graph box, in order to maintain the aspect ratio. So you may want to go ahead and set the size properly for your graph so that it looks just the way that you want it. But I think this is a really nice improvement because it's a great feature to be able to control the aspect ratio. And I often find that I love to just click and zoom in on a section of the graph, or maybe I want to set a graph where I remove the padding around the data and the box. Well, all those settings now will work. With the aspect ratio, it will stay maintained. Thanks for watching. Those are the three features I wanted to go over. Again, the contour lines, the labeling of the contour lines, and the improvement of the application of the aspect ratio are all in DataGraph 5.5. How do you get DataGraph 5.5? Well, there's two ways. You can go to the Mac App Store. If you are a Mac App Store user, you may have auto updates set up, so maybe DataGraph 5.5 is already on your computer. If you are a direct license holder, you purchased your license through our website, Visual Data Tools, then you will need to download DataGraph 5.5. And at some point when you open DataGraph, it will prompt you to go to the website to download that. If you want more information on this version, then I'll have a link in the description of this video to the release notes that go along with this version that talk about everything I talked about today, as well as other things that we will cover in more depth in a future video. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy the improvements that we continue to add to DataGraph, and you're one of the many people that I know love the program and want to see it continue, then please go ahead and give us a thumbs up to this video. Any questions, you can put them in the comments or email us at help@visualdatatools.com. Thanks.